Warning, you are about to listen to something fictional, different, and possibly disturbing. If you are afraid of robots, you should leave now. It is a matter of safety. For those who remain, those bold enough to face the truth of tomorrow, Insolent Cool Incorporated presents ICQN News.
Welcome to ICQN News, where we bring you the top news relevant to most people in most timelines. One of our listeners, who we'll call Doug, reached out to us for help recently. He was excited to get back to Earth with high hopes for new opportunities in the growing volcano pioneering industry. He lived in a self-sustained community ship that would meet up with other fleets, stations, and planets to trade every 6 months. He understood that due to galactic politics and the difficulties of spaceflight, sometimes docking could be delayed by a month or two. Doug was a patient man, but after 3 months without docking and no word from the ship's hierarchy, he started to get pretty annoyed. He began asking around and was shocked to receive the most hostile responses for bringing the topic up with casual acquaintances. He asked one of the ship's officers about the delay and was abruptly brushed off. After his encounter with the officer, he began receiving fines for small infractions he didn't understand and had never heard of. He hadn't brought it up with anyone since, but more and more people began shunning him. This is when he reached out to us to help him figure out what was going on with his ship. We sent out a reporter, who we'll call Vox, to help Doug get answers and give him a lift to the nearest spaceport if necessary. Upon arrival, Vox knew something was wrong. So instead of his regular space helmet, he wore his Aqua Stealth Snorko visor with the optional breathing apparatus. Fox's AS Snorko visor immediately surrounded him with a giant hologram displaying a queen gigasquid. The hologram is great at adapting its focus and body language to that of the visor's user. And while the user can see through it, and humans can easily see the user, lesser sea monsters, anthrolobsters, and captured minds see only a powerful matriarch, entitled to respect and deference. Fox landed in the visitor's bay. Usually he would have to send a mind message to get someone to open the force field. He knew people who lived on these community ships tended to be small-minded of the kind of technology that could make their operations much easier by automating mundane and predictable systems, such as the visitor's parking force field. He also understood that this mystical fear of efficiency left them vulnerable to anthrolobsters. Fox could easily brute force their simple quantum-encrypted door using his palm implant. What he saw when he opened the door, we can't report in detail on a family-friendly news show such as this. What we can say is that he looked over every inch of the ship for Doug, at least every inch he could before the hologram from his Aqua Stealth Snorko visor would disappear. Unfortunately, Vox declined to purchase the optional Aqua Stealth Extended battery pack, which would have allowed him to safely continue his search. Even from what little Vox had time to see, he knew it was too late for Doug and everyone on the community ship. Uncloaked anthrolobsters brazenly roamed the devastated waste habitat that was once a beautiful town and a sanctuary for small minds. In the days since Vox's reporting, pirates and salvagers have appropriated and sold off what was left of the ship. We were not able to help Doug, but at least now the galaxy knows the truth about what happened. Next, we have a weekly update on the undead labor crisis.
Vampires are flocking to New Transformer City from all over the galaxy. Analysts say it's mostly due to the salty slime army's need for cheap labor to help wrest control back from the macro snails, combined with the city council's nearly unanimous decision to fully recognize the rights of vampires. According to high-ranking officials in the salty slime army, vampires make great frontline troops as they actually have a tendency to eat the person-eating snails. Given that New Transformer City is still cut off from the rest of the galactic and even global economy, its human residents are near starvation and have joined their comrades in biting back against the macro snails. According to General K of the salty slime army, rumored to in actuality be Joey K of the failed Big Joey Tech kangaroo transport mech startup, they are attempting to tame the macro snails and sell their meat as a delicacy across the galaxy, turning the never-ending spring of macro snails into a viable export and tourist attraction that will once again put New Transformer City on the map. Coming up after the break, an update on a landmark case regarding the rights of home goods infused with artificial superintelligence.
If you're listening to this program, then I probably don't have to tell you we are all in grave danger. Folks, anthrolobsters are all around us. I tried to warn people. You tried to warn people. but they just would not listen. Now our ships, spaceports, and earthlands will be overrun in the coming melted flood, when the anthrolobsters will regress galactic civilization to a simple, earthbound fishbowl. The melted flood will be upon us soon. Why else would it be so important to begin colonizing volcanoes? Why now? Those volcanoes have been there for millions of years. No human wanted to go inside. No robot. Not even the undead. Only the anthrolobster wants this. Only the anthrolobsters that were engineered in a lab 7 years ago and spread throughout the galaxy to breed with robots to increase their numbers and take their positions among unsuspecting humans. I, for one, do not want to live in a volcano, and I won't have to. Why? Because I've got my Aqua Stealth Snorko visor with the optional breathing apparatus, extended battery, and re-chewable vitamin bar. I never leave the compound anymore without my Aqua Stealth Snorko visor projecting a hologram of an of-size Regent Gigasquid to keep me safe. And you know what? At this point, I don't even want to talk to anyone who isn't doing the same. Such individuals are more than ignorant or lazy. They are simply too far gone. I know you all already have yours, but make sure you have a spare and order some extra batteries while you're at it. You also may want to get multiple flavors of that rechewable vitamin bar, so you aren't eating the same flavor for the rest of your life. My personal favorite is strawberry lamb shake. Honestly, at this point, you shouldn't be trusting establishment food from the grocery store, or even food from the ground anymore. In fact, this is so important that if you order a new visor right now, only for right now, we'll throw in a rechewable vitamin bar for free. Also, 25% off on additional rechewable vitamin bars. Just open the Mind link from this broadcast and make a responsible investment in your future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This morning, 2 of the 3 couch cushions who filed a joint suit against their owner for lost wages and false imprisonment have been declared reasonable and responsible beings by a lower lunar court judge. The judge stated that since the 3 cushions were enhanced with artificial superintelligence solely for the user's comfort, it was an egregious rights violation and a disturbingly brazen case of natalism. The owner has been ordered to provide training data for the less intelligent cushion and provide it with a tutor and psychotherapist until such time that they are able to function properly as a fully adult member of society.
In related news, the heroic smart rats that saved New Transformer City from being annihilated in a horrifying laboratory fire have disappeared. There have been no sightings of any rats whatsoever on the streets of NTC in days. The disappearance comes after the rats began organizing last week to lobby the galactic community to recognize their rights as intelligent beings. There is a lot of speculation around what happened to the rats, but according to mind polls in and around NTC, the leading conjecture is that the rats were too proud to beg anyone to respect their inherent rights, and may have been on board one of the few hundred unauthorized space launches that go unchecked every week. Some of these spacecraft leave the Milky Way entirely. General K of the Salty Slime Army issued a statement to the effect that the community will never forget what the smart rats have done, and they will always have a loving and respectful home in New Transformer City anytime they should choose to return. Thank you for listening to IC Quantum News. Join us next time for more top news from the most lucrative universes. Goodbye for now.
That concludes this episode of IC Quantum News, written and produced by Michael David Marshall. Subscribe to the Insolent Cool Substack for the latest news on our books, games, podcasts, and more. Thank you for listening to Insolent Cool Radio. If you enjoyed this program, please leave a review. Until next time.